Hey guys, welcome back to another video. If it's your first time here, hi, my name is Jess, welcome. So today's haul is gonna be different from the rest, and it's gonna be featuring some items that I simply cannot stop buying. It's sort of becoming a habit to shop for these items on a regular basis at this point, so I'm so excited to share this haul with you. So if you wanna see what's in this haul, make sure that you keep on watching, and as always, I will have everything that I feature in this video linked down below in the description box. So without further ado, let's jump into today's haul. Before I share what's in this haul, do you have any guesses of what these items could possibly be? If so, I would love if you could leave your guesses down in the comments below. I'll give you some time to write something in the comments right now.
A few moments later.
Okay, so the items that I'm going to be featuring in today's video are books. Buying and reading books is one of my absolute favorite hobbies. I went from reading and buying one book a month to now buying several books at a time to build up my TBR list. I recently went a little crazy and bought quite the number of books, but not just any books, seasonal books. Seasonal reading is something that I have wanted to participate in for quite some time now, and this is my very first year doing so I am very excited. And if you don't know what seasonal reading is, it's basically just reading books that are aligned or related to a season or holiday. So because we are now in the fall/spooky season, all of the books in this haul are going to be either fall or spooky themed. And I just want to say that I use the term spooky loosely because they're cute spooky, not scary spooky. And I did purchase all of these books solely based on book talk videos and recommendations, so here are the books that I got. So this book is called The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston, and it has a 3.9 on Goodreads and a 4.2 on Amazon. This is a standalone book, and the genres of this book are romance fiction, paranormal romance, and fantasy fiction. Now I'm gonna read straight from Google what this book is about. So on the Google website, it says, a hilarious yet heartwarming tale of a ghostwriter who returns home to confront her literal and metaphorical ghosts, rediscovering love, family, and herself in a quirky southern town. So I did start this book on the 28th of September and I finished it on October 1st. So I am going to be including this in my October reads, even though I technically started it in September. But I will say that if I'm honest, in the beginning of reading this book, I was a little bored. And I don't know if that had more to do with me than the book, but I powered through and I continued reading it. And I want to say that when I was about 75% through the book, that's when I was fully into it. And then by the end of the book, I was crying sad tears and then happy tears. So overall, I ended up giving this book a 4.5 star rating, which honestly shocked me because of how I wasn't really enjoying it at the beginning, but the end really just took the rating up all the way to the top. So would I recommend this book? Yes, I would. However, I will say that a lot of the subject matter in this book does revolve around death. So if you are uncomfy with that or you find that triggering at all, then maybe just steer clear of this book. But otherwise, I would definitely read it. So this next book is My Roommate is a Vampire by Jenna Levine. This one has 3.5 on Goodreads and a 3.8 on Amazon. It is book 1 of 2, and its genres are romance fiction, vampire fiction, and fantasy fiction. So now about this book, it says here, a charming, fast-paced paranormal romance set in Chicago. When Cassie moves into Frederick's apartment, an enchanting sensual love story unfolds with a sweet happily ever after. I actually just started reading this book this morning, and I'm currently on page 38, so I'm not very far into the book, but I am really liking how fast-paced it is, that it's easy to read, and it's also really funny. So the fact that I'm on page 38 and I'm already enjoying it as much as I am gives me the feeling that I'm really gonna enjoy this book. So next up we have The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. This book is by Sangu Mandana. I'm so sorry if I'm butchering that, but this book has a 4.1 on Goodreads, a 4.4 on Amazon, and it is a standalone book. Its genres are fantasy fiction, supernatural fiction, and romance fantasy. So the sentence that Amazon gave me to describe the about of this book is, escape to a whimsical world where a solitary witch embraces an eccentric family, magic, and unexpected love in this heartwarming, fast-paced tale set in Britain. This was a book that I repeatedly saw on people's list of books to read this fall, and because I'm someone who requires very little influencing when it comes to book buying, I bought it. Then here we have The Unfortunate Side Effects of Heartbreak and Magic. It is by Brianne Randall, and this one has a 3.2 on Goodreads, a 3.9 on Amazon. It's also a standalone, and its genres are romance fiction, fantasy fiction, and it's about witches. So the short sentence that Amazon gave me about this book says, prepare for a spellbinding journey through love, heartbreak, and magic in a small town where Sadie, a strong heroine, must confront her past and choose between romance and mystical powers. It is gripping and emotional. So I heard in a book talk video about this book that this book actually has recipes inside of it and that they're actually pretty good. So I love the idea of getting 2 books in one. I get a romance novel, and a cookbook. And on the back of this book, it says that this book is perfect for fans of Practical Magic and Gilmore Girls. I haven't seen either, so if you are a fan of those, then you might like this book as well. Every time that fall comes around, I always see like Gilmore Girls everywhere, and I am still so shocked that I haven't taken the time to actually watch the show myself. If you have watched Gilmore Girls, let me know down in the comments. I would love to get into a new fall TV show. I'm currently watching Gossip Girl. That is my comfort TV show. Comment down below what your comfort TV show is. Here we have The Undertaking of Hart and Mercy. This one is by Megan Bannon, and this one has a 4.1 on Goodreads and a 4.4 on Amazon. It is book 1 of 3, and the genres are romance fiction, fantasy fiction, paranormal, and comedy. So on the Amazon page where it talks about what this book is about, it says, ignite your heart with a quirky magical romance between Hart and Darcy, braving small town drama and demigod dangers. This was another really popular book that kept popping up every time I would do like some research on TikTok about what books to read during this fall. And from what I've heard, it's not really set during the fall season. However, the subject matter does align with like this spooky season. So here we have The Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Lori Gilmore. This book has a 3.5 on Goodreads and a 3.8 on Amazon. It is book 1 of 4, and its genre is romance fiction. So this book is about a spicy small town romance. A grumpy farmer, Logan, is captivated by Sunshine Janine's Pumpkin Spice Cafe. It's charming, heartwarming, and a delightfully cozy happily ever after. So this book right here is what ignited my desire to want to start seasonal reading this year. I kept seeing it all over my TikTok's FYP, and so this was the very first book on the list of books that I wanted to read this season. And now that I think of it, it's funny that it's not like the first book that I started reading. I'm kind of saving this one for November, if I'm honest, because I want to read like these spookier, more paranormal ones right now in October, and then save the more like fall ones for when it actually feels like fall here in Texas. But I digress. Let me say this, that getting my hands on this book was actually really difficult. It was sold out on Amazon for the longest time, and then I went to the Barnes & Noble website, it was sold out. I even went to the actual Barnes & Noble store, and it was also sold out. And so I was like, where could I possibly get my hands on this book? And so I thought, you know what, let me go on Walmart.com. And Walmart.com came in clutch because I was able to order this book on there, and then I later found out that Target.com also had it. So I think now this is available on Amazon. I think that they like restocked. So I don't think it's like crazy sold out anymore, but at the time when I was like hunting for this book, it was sold out on all the places where I would normally get my books. And also, I just absolutely love the cover of this book. I think it is so cute, so fall. There's a little cat right here in the center. I just think it is absolutely adorable. But don't let this sweet little cover fool you, because I have actually heard that this book is very spicy. So because I got the Pumpkin Spice Cafe book, I thought it was only right if I got the second book in the series, which is the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore. This book has a 3.9 on Goodreads and a 4.3 on Amazon. It is book 2 of 4, and its genre is romance fiction. So when I went to the Amazon website to get a little about this book, it didn't really show me anything, but based on what I'm reading here in the back, this is another small town spicy romance, and it is about a woman named Hazel who finds a secret message in a book. This book has secret messages, secret codes, which then leads her to a treasure hunt, but she needs help going on this treasure hunt. So then comes in the male character, Noah, and from what I gather here, there's going to be romance and treasure hunts in this book, so that's fun. Very bold of me to get the first and second book from this series, because I normally don't do that. I will normally get the first book from a series, and if I like it, I will continue it. But here I thought, you know what, we're going all in with these seasonal reads, why not just get both? And the cover of this one is so much cuter. It has like this copper foiling on the front, which is so adorable. Would I have bought these anyway solely based on how cute their covers are? Probably yes. So this next book is Funny Feelings by Tara DeWitt, and this one has a 3.8 on Goodreads and a 4.2 on Amazon. It is a standalone, and its genres are romance fiction. On the Amazon About This Book section, it says, fake dating turns real in this sweet, witty contemporary by Farley Jones. Sparks fly between client and lawyer in this heartwarming, slow burn, quick read. I'm sorry if these short abouts aren't really giving you much detail on this book. I just don't want to bore you in this video, but I will have, again, everything linked down below. So if you do want to get more information on each book, I will have them all linked in order in my description box. But this book was actually given to me by my sister. She surprised me with it, and I thought it was so incredibly sweet of her. She knows how much I love books and how much I love reading, and so It was just so thoughtful of her to give this to me. So because I didn't really do any prior research on this book, I don't know if it is like a seasonal book, but the cover, I will say, is giving fall vibes. So because of that, it made it onto my seasonal TBR list. So this next book is The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. This is the same author who wrote the very first book that I showed you guys, The Dead Romantics. This book has a 4.2 on Goodreads, a 4.4 on Amazon. It's a standalone and its genres are romance fiction, contemporary fiction, and ghost story, which is interesting considering the other book that I read from her also had ghosts. Does this author have a thing for ghosts? Question mark? I don't know. But now for the about, it says, a whirlwind romance blossoms when an overworked New Yorker falls for her charming roommate only to discover he's living in the past. Brace for a heart-fluttering, time-bending adventure filled with love, fate, and hope. I have actually had my eye on this book for quite a while now, maybe even since last year, because it's a book that I constantly see people say really good things about. I see it on people's TBR, I see it on people's like books that I wish I could read for the first time, and just like a lot of praise that this book has on Book Talk. And so I had actually gone to Target a few weeks ago with the intention to just buy one book, and that book was Night Vane by Alex Astor. And then I noticed that they were having a buy one get one half off sale, and this book just happened to be there on the shelf, and I was like, you know what, let me grab it. I've been wanting to read it for quite some time now, so I'm going to read it this fall. Now, I don't think that this is a particularly like seasonal book. I don't think so. But because it does have the ghost story, I feel like it kind of falls into the spooky season, even though I might get to this book sometime in November, but it's fine. So yeah, that is this book right here. I'm very excited to read it. I hope that I enjoy it just as much, but I hope that I enjoy it from the very beginning all the way through to the end. Because with her first book, I more so just enjoyed like the last 25% of it as opposed to the entire thing. So hopefully things are different with this one. So we are down to the last two books. I actually just got these like a few days ago at Barnes & Noble because they were having a buy one get one half off sale, and I can't ever resist a buy one get one half off sale at Barnes & Noble. So this first one is How Does It Feel by Janine O'Reilly. It has 3.8 on Goodreads, a 4.2 on Amazon, and it is book 1 of 2. Although the girl at the Barnes & Noble checkout did say that book 3 was coming out, so I don't know if there's just 2 books or 3 books in this series. But anyway, the genres are fantasy, dark fantasy, and paranormal romance. This book did not have an about section on Amazon, but the back of it just says, a forbidden obsession, unyielding family allegiance, and 3 deadly challenges. And honestly, I did read the back of this book while I was at Barnes & Noble, and it just like instantly pulled me in. I was like, this sounds like my kind of book. I love a good fantasy romance. I want to say that romantasy has very quickly become like my favorite genre, because romance books, as fun as they are and as easy as they are, sometimes I need a little bit more, and I feel like the fantasy just really gives me that more that I'm wanting. And so I am very excited about this book. And not only that, but the girlie at the checkout was actually raving about this book so much. She said she loved it so much. She loved this one, the second one, and then she said that a third one was coming out. So we will see about that, but she said it's coming out next year. So I have time to catch up with this book and the second book, and that way I can read the third book if there is a third book. I will have to do more research on that actually. And this last book is Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies by Heather Fawcett. And this book has a 4.0 on Goodreads, a 4.3 on Amazon. It is book 1 of 3, and its genres are fantasy fiction, romance, historical fantasy, and magical realism. So on the Amazon About section, it says, uncover the darkly gorgeous secrets of the hidden ones in this enchanting, fast-paced fantasy set in a northern town. So I just saw this and I really liked the cover of it. I also had seen it quite a few times on my FYP on TikTok, and a lot of book girlies had it on their TBR this fall. I was very, very tempted to buy the other book in this series because there was 2 of them on the Barnes & Noble shelf, and I really like how they look, just like visually. I think that they're so cute. And so I wanted to get the second one, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna wait and see if I like this one, and then if I do, I will get the second. Because if I don't, then I would have just, you know, jumped the gun, kind of like I did with these. So I was like, I already did this once, I'm gonna wait, and then if I actually like it, I'll get the second book. But I have no doubts that I'll like it because it has such high ratings, both on Goodreads and on Amazon, and people on TikTok seem to love it. And that, you guys, wraps up the end of this haul. I know that it was very different from my normal like fashion hauls, but regardless, I really do hope that you enjoyed it. If you have read any of these books or have any of these books on your TBR list, make sure that you comment them down below. And if you did enjoy this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, turn on the bell notification, that way you are notified every time I upload a brand new video. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you so much, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!